888-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Welcome in to a fun Friday here in No Man's Land. John Abraham, Captain Cool, Joe Hunk, the Bandy Man, Bailey Lowery. 2 hours straight of sports talk with you, and I am extremely excited to get into all of the news stories. Also, why does it sound echoey?
Okay, I was wondering if that was just my headphones.
I think it was because your mic was turned up so much, and the way that it was a little bit of behind the scenes as we get into this.
Well, I am loud.
Friday.
I mean, I'm very loud.
Well, you are loud, but also that mic is extremely hot as well. So I turned you down
I'm just listening to you, and I was going, Scott was just on that microphone. Yeah. There's no reason that microphone should be doing what the other microphone did to me when we were talking to Drew yesterday.
Steve was right there, too. If you guys were listening to the Talkin' Ball show, of course, every single morning during the weekdays, 7 to 9, Steve joined into the show today because, of course, Drew's got his own things with the Huntsville Panthers going up to Tennessee for their tournament. But I guess you are extremely loud because Steve's was potted up quite some.
I am a very loud person.
Yeah, you are. Okay.
I mean, last night during the women's basketball game that I did for UAH, I really didn't even need a microphone.
Yeah.
But I was on Flow Sports, so it's great because Daniel, who does all the production for UAH, I was like, yeah, you're probably gonna pop me down. He's like, don't worry. If you get too loud, I can also handle it over here. So no problem. I was like, because I'm going to be loud. Well, I'm a loud guy.
Yeah, and you're going to be loud again tonight, of course, over at the VBC because we got Huntsville Havoc hockey tonight and tomorrow. It's great to have it back at the VBC.
It is, and I'm on the broadcast tomorrow night. Moulton is going to be tonight. I promised my kids I'm going to take him on a train ride tonight. So So you're not doing anything. I'm not doing the game tonight. I'm not there. It's tomorrow night. Yeah, there's a Christmas train that is. It's off Winchester. I don't even know what the name is. My wife is basically just giving me an address and saying, "Bring the kids here, have them look cute."
I thought you were about to take them to the outdoor mall and just have them riding on that one train.
No, not the little train. No. We're going full Polar Express on this. No. Yeah, we're going full Polar Express. We did this 2 years ago with my son. We did it in Nashville where we did a train ride with him there. They actually had served hot chocolate, kids wore pajamas, it was all kind of cool. And so we like to do different ones around. Chattanooga has a train ride. I mean, obviously they have trains, and then and Huntsville has one as well. So we're doing the one here in Huntsville this year, and then next year we're going to go and do Chattanooga. So we do a Polar Express thing every single year.
Gotcha.
But it's tonight. And so Moulton's going to be on the call for Huntsville and Fayetteville. The puck's going to drop at 7:15. Pregame is going to start at 7 o'clock, and then same thing tomorrow night. So trust me, I debated on this, but I knew my wife even goes, you could work the hockey game if you wanted to, which is code for any man that is not married of you better not choose to do the hockey game over going with your own children to this event for Christmas. So I chose to go to the event. So I'm giving up Wizard Night, which is the night I was ecstatic about, to go on the train.
Okay. Well, it's okay because I will be able to bring a scarf that you can at least look at. You can't have it because it's mine. But
no.
I'll bring it for you because I'm going to be
at hot commodities.
I'm going to be at the game tonight. All right.
These things are hot commodities, man. I mean, they're people right now that are going to put up a pretty penny for your Wizard Night scarf.
Well, it's all right because I'm not going to sell it because I also have a 12-foot long shirt that people would probably want to buy, but I ain't selling it, guys. I ain't selling it until I actually get a price on it. Either way, we got a lot of news stories to get into today, but before we do that, I'd like to remind you that this show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up, unlike Devondre Campbell, who completely just walked off this field last night.
Literally walked off the field.
I would have done the same. This game was terrible. I mean, it was boring.
Okay, he did it for a different reason, though.
Yeah. I understand that, but you have two teams that usually have electric offenses, all right? These are high-scoring teams. Of course, the Rams with Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Sam Bradford. I mean, you got Kyrie Williams. Then you got, on the flip side, a 49ers team that's got a guy that is as impactful as Brock Purdy, a.k.a. Mr. Irrelevant. I remember this show started it's the same thing happened with Brock Purdy's career. It also started, and it went off the opposite of our show. It went off really hot, whereas our show kind of like started slow and then started building up. But on top of that, obviously you don't have Christian McCaffrey and you don't have Jordan Mason, but you got Garendo, who Joe's got on his fantasy team, and thankfully he didn't put him in.
Oh, that was totally – I did not mean to not play him last night, but I am so glad I did.
Because if you played anybody in that game last night, except for you would probably throw out Puka Nacua. Because Puka Nacua is Puka Nacua. He's always going to get some points. He had 17, I believe. But no touchdowns for most of the players last night. And on top of that, I had a choice between Cooper Kupp and a few of my other stud wide receivers on my fantasy team. Cooper Kupp got 0 points. And we're in playoff scenarios now. So I am so sorry to anybody who put in number 10 last night, because it was just a rough and tough game. If you love defense, that's all that it was last night. As of course, the Rams did inevitably get the win, and I believe it was like 12-6. Oh my gosh!
It was a barn burner, pouring down rain at the very end. Oh, it was electric.
Yeah. On top of that, we also got a little bit of news from Quinn Ewers. And, of course, the Texas QB could be going on to the draft. That would be awesome to see him make it to the NFL, wondering which teams would pick him up. But on top of that, there are reports that are coming out that some people don't want him to leave college football just yet. And although most Longhorns fans have already kind of looked forward to the future.
Bro, they've been looking forward to the future for 2 years.
They got Arch Manning on their team. They're like, this is going to be a stud quarterback. He's going to win the Heisman. He's going to win every single award you can win. Speaking of awards, there were a lot of them last night. We will get into those. But reportedly, $4 million is on the table for him to transfer to another school, and I'm very much interested to see what school that is. So definitely keep an eye on the Texas Longhorns quarterback as they move forward throughout the playoffs as well.
Quinn Ewers has how much money on the table to transfer?
Just $4 million.
See, now, and this is where I go the direct opposite of Jalen Milroe, because Jalen Milroe is looking at possibly a $4 million contract in the NFL. Quinn Ewers is considered like the second number 2 quarterback right now in the draft. Some say the number 3, which both of those would still most likely be first-round draft picks. Yeah. That's a $20 to $25 million contract. Yeah. Not financially worth it.
That's the question, too. It won't change too much. If anything, it might hurt him if he goes forward and has a lackluster season and he just gets a little bit older. Of course, patience is something that you can have now in college football with the millions of dollars that are being thrown at you, but it still does not compare, of course, to what you get in the NFL.
Well, what it does is it takes away the idea of I've got to go early because I need the money. Yeah. Like that's part of it. And again, everybody understands financial situations. Trust me, I would love to have an NIL deal for $5 million right now.
Take me back.
Yeah, but but with Quinn Ewers in this, he is considered one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the draft. So from his standpoint, it doesn't benefit him, especially if they do end up winning the national championship. You've done everything. There's not very much you can do to improve your stock and go to a quote-unquote different school with a quote-unquote quarterback coach that you could possibly utilize and make yourself a higher draft pick. Yeah. You're now talking about a team in possibly the top 10 and what their needs and or desires are going to be. Because, yes, Shadir Sanders is going to most likely be the number 1 quarterback taken in the draft. Then it comes down to number 2. Is it going to be Ewers? Is it going to be a Cam Ward? That's where you're talking about the difference between maybe a $30 million contract and a $25 million contract. That, as of right now, from what I am seeing, is not what Jalen Milroe is needing to look at.
No doubt.
It's a different discussion for him because he's looking at potentially being a 2nd or 3rd round guy, which is that money that Quinn Ewers is being offered just to stay in college.
Exactly. And if I were him, I would honestly look towards the future and be in an NFL jersey next year because, of course, Texas, I mean, that's a place you already kind of planted your flag. Not talking about Ohio State. Please do not come after him with a legal lawsuit or anything like that.
You can't plant a flag anyway, you stupid senator.
Either way.
All you do is you just carry a stand out there and put it and go, oh, well, technically I didn't put a stand.
Oopsies.
God, you're an idiot. This is the reason why our country sucks is because we elect stupid people.
We got Arizona State. I mean, they have a pitchfork. I mean, that actually will go into some turf. Either way, we have awards that were thrown out last night. And no, we're not talking about the Game Awards, which I know Bandy is just like itching to talk
Those
about.
are probably more
I
entertaining.
wish I could. I mean, it was more entertaining than that football game last night.
No, that is very much the truth. It was. But we also got college player awards, and no, we're not talking about the Heisman Trophy. That has not been announced yet, and a lot of people are focusing on, of course, those 4 players that are being thrown out there: the Cam Wards, the Ashton Genties, the Travis Hunters, of course. But at the same time, we also got to get those smaller awards in, and this might, show a little something of what the future might hold. Maybe Ashton Genty might win the Heisman Trophy. I still hope so. Do I think so? Probably not, just because the popular opinion
think he
might go
should.
towards Travis.
I still think that he should.
I do too. But we also had a lot of coaching changes throughout the last week, or throughout this week, honestly, and a lot of people focusing on mainly Bill Belichick and his new job, of course, over at Chapel Hill. And now people are calling him, of course, Chapel Bill. I love that name. Joe, I don't know if you came up with it yesterday, but you threw that out there.
No, I totally stole that.
I chuckled a little bit.
I did. I totally stole that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I actually saw it 0.2 seconds before you said it. I mean, it was he's talking Chapel Bill.
That's
I
funny.
mean, it was that
Okay.
quick. It was a coincidence. I'd love to take credit for it, but I can't.
Yeah, some people probably would have believed you, so you should have just went with the roll
no,
there.
No, I'm going to be straight with you.
Either way, other coaches that are on the move, and this is just a select few of them, because if we wanted to list off every single one of them, it'd be a very long list.
It's amazing how this all happens right after National Signing Day.
Yeah, you're right.
And transfer portal being open. It's
Yeah.
amazing how that happens.
Obviously, Rich Rod going to West Virginia is probably the second biggest story coming out of the coaching carousel. But on top of that, Barry Odom is going to be the new head coach over at Purdue. Of course, he was coaching that Mizzou Tigers team back at 2016 to 2019. A little bit of success, not too much. Went over to UNLV after a little stint as a coordinator, but now going to Purdue, helping this team that definitely needs it, because they look like the worst team, and not just the Big Ten, but the entire country. I think they won 1 game last season, and it was against a team that you couldn't even name their mascot of. On top of that, Dan Mullen, we talked about this yesterday. He's going to UNLV to replace Barry Odom. He was the head coach of Mississippi State from 2009 to 17. It was a decent time for the Bulldogs at that time of his career. On top of that, Florida head coach from 18 to 21. Scott Frost is returning to UCF. Remember this team that was saying that they won the national championship back in 2017? This is the coach of that team. And I think Dylan Gabriel maybe played on this team. Did he? No, maybe. I mean, he's been in the college football long enough.
I think actually he did.
He didn't. That was 2017. It was a little bit past. I think he got into college football back at like 2019. I think that's how old.
It's really sad that I'm actually having to debate this.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
he was in 2019.
Golly.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, 2019 to 21.
To think that some guys are still playing past COVID. Like, they joined into college football before COVID. Golly, it feels like a long time. He was also the head coach of Nebraska from 2018 to 2020 in hopes that he would help fix this Cornhuskers team after what he was able to do with UCF. That was not the case. He obviously got fired, and now he's got his job back at UCF, which honestly is probably the ceiling of his coaching career. On top of that, former NFL offensive coordinator and QB coach Dowell Logans is joining App State, replacing Sean Clark. He had stints with the Titans.
Yes,
he had
he
stints
did.
with the Browns. He was a QB coach at one point. The Bears, the Dolphins, the
And
Jets.
This is the reason Mike Shula is now the offensive coordinator for South Carolina.
Yeah, that is true. And now he is going to be coaching App State. So if you guys are interested in that team that's just a little bit up north, you definitely got yourself a new intrigue with the Mountaineers. On top of that, of course, still going to be talking a little bit of the scheduling that came out just 2 days ago within the SEC. I want to know which season's going to be legit. On top of that, who's going to be the next Vanderbilt? Who's going to have that surprise season?
Yeah, we need to figure that out because
I definitely wanna know.
Vanderbilt surprised everybody.
Exactly.
And there may not, like Vanderbilt, this may be the first step where in 5 years we look back and go, remember when Vanderbilt sucked?
Yeah.
Like, it could be. But at the same time, there's some schedules that may actually be benefiting them. I mean, it could be.
Definitely some favorable schedules out there in the SEC. And, of course, hopping into the phone lines all show long, 256-5764.
97.7
is the number to get into the Morning Blitz. We also got wacky underdog picks. So when we come back, wacky underdog picks open for you. Not many games to get in on, but I will say this. One of the callers that's on right now, he wanted to make a wacky underdog pick on an NFL game. I am opening the door up, even though it's not this week, but for next week, just so you guys know, for the playoff games as well, because we have some big spreads. So next week, you'll be able to hop in on those and try and get back at the top, because we have a long list of wacky underdoggers that are looking to get that number one spot and looking to take down, a.k.a. Natty Dan, who won last season. We'll take it to break. When we get back, phone lines, scheduling, coaches, Bill Belichick, all of that and more on this Friday edition of the Morning Blitz.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, our focus is to always offer you the perfect combination of good times and great food. And when you're ready for a great meal, or when it's just time to take a break from all the holiday hustle and bustle, come into Bad Daddy's and enjoy one of our premium award-winning Angus beef burgers, signature cocktail, or a cold draft beer. From all of us at Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, we hope you have a safe and happy holiday season. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and Cliff Farm Highway 72 in Madison.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A cloudy start expected for this Friday will gradually become partly sunny by the afternoon. High temperatures looking to top out in the mid-50s. Heading into our Friday night, we'll sit under a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures falling into the low 40s for the overnight. Rain returns back into the forecast heading into the weekend. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that trick never worked.
How's that Whataburger taste?
That thing was delicious.
Yeah? What'd you get?
I get two different things. I normally get a honey butter biscuit, honey butter chicken biscuit, I should say, and then the other thing I always get is a bacon biscuit.
No, I appreciate the hash browns you gave me. I've never had
I think
them.
that was just a free gift because they took a few more minutes at the drive-through than what they normally do.
Yeah.
And it's easy. I've got Whataburger like right in front of the house. And so on days that I don't have time to make the breakfast, I just drop my son off, and as I'm dropping him off, I hit the app, I make the order, and then I just pull right in, go to the drive-thru, pull right back out, and head to the studio.
Yeah,
There you go.
Whataburger pretty convenient. They made like 3 of them in Huntsville in the last 4 years or something like that. Maybe even 4 of them. I don't know.
And one of them is in Hazel Green, and I'm not kidding. You can walk out of my house, and you see the sign.
Is it right next to the Walmart?
It's right beside the Walmart, man.
I've never been to this guy's house, but the amount of times that he like slightly brings up areas around his house, I'm just like putting it all together inside of my mind.
Oh, there's gonna be people know exactly where I live by the end of the year.
And that's one thing, too. That just kind of convinced me. I've never had Whataburger breakfast.
Really?
I didn't have it for
never
the
have.
longest time. But we see, and normally, wow, Whataburger's getting a lot of press right now on the show.
They really are.
But-
Hey, Whataburger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Looking at you.
the I normally would get the hamburger and all that sort of stuff and fries, which is still delicious at 8 a.m. But I started getting this just because I wanted something different. It's the honey butter.
Okay.
Honey butter is the thing, man.
You know, the only Whataburger item I ever had, it was down in Florida. I got the Whata chicken sandwich.
And?
Whata.
It was a chicken sandwich.
It was a chicken sandwich from Whataburger.
Well, yeah, but was it good?
I think it was like a 6. I give it a 6 out of 10. Maybe even a 5.
Yeah.
It was all right. It was like probably around the same type of quality as Sonic. Enough of that.
Kind of like, I can't believe it's not a burger.
Yeah. You're going to have a little bit better food options, honestly, when it comes down to our... And I'm not dogging on Whataburger. I don't want to dog on Whataburger.
No, I love Whataburger.
But when it comes down to the Christmas party that's happening this upcoming Monday, guys, be ready for it. It's on the 16th, 5 o'clock. The drive's going to be live on location. You got to bring a present. You get in, you can jump for an hour, you can eat. All you got to do is bring a present.
Look, I'm taking motion sickness pills, and I am going to go at it.
Yeah.
I'm going to town.
We're going to have so much fun at Flow Supreme Air.
I'm going to body slam my kid on a trampoline.
Okay. Okay.
Slam him
Look,
around.
he needs to learn early.
Slam him around like a bag of ice.
Yeah, no. He needs to learn early, okay? This is what we did on trampolines, okay? We didn't have professional wrestling rings. We did this sucker on a trampoline.
You're not wrong. I was the flying fisherman. That's what they called me, and it makes sense because I got that fisherman Islanders jacket right there.
If you know right now that if there's an opportunity for me to stand up on some sort of thing that resembles a turnbuckle, I'm swanton bombing my kid. I am going to, and he's going to learn the proper way that this is what we do on trampolines.
Yeah. Well, I can't.
So come join us.
Can't wait to see all of the listeners. Everybody is invited. Again, just bring a present. It's to help out, of course, toy drives. I believe it's Toys for Tots. I believe we're doing
Toys for Tots. Yes, it's Toys for Tots. Brand new, unwrapped toy is what you need to bring Monday night, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun.
And on top of the Flow Supreme Air, there's also going to be a cameo from Divergence VR theme park. They're also going to bring their trailer by. And yes, this is official. They will be on location, so definitely look forward to that. And if you haven't been to Divergence yet, this is the best time to test it out, guys. You go in there, put a VR headset on, play some games, go into different worlds, be a monkey running up trees, all of that stuff and more. It's all going to be going down at 5 o'clock.
Would you look at that?
Monday.
I always think of that commercial when you say it. huh.
I was wondering what you were referencing. I was like, huh.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
Well, you guys are thinking about it. That means it's working. Either way, let's hop into the phone lines before we get started on these schedules as well as all of these awards that we got to get into. We got Natty Dan on with us. Natty Dan, how you doing, man?
Well, Joe's doing a lot better than me. You know, I don't know if you know this, but he does live by Walmart in the streets called Mar-a-Lago.
Now, don't dox the guy.
No. I mean, he goes to Whataburger and gets his breakfast. You know what I get for my breakfast? It's called a wish sandwich. 2 pieces of bread and a wish has the meat.
Look, I will tell you, I had not gotten Whataburger for breakfast for over 2 months, and yesterday was the first day, and I said, you know what? I'm going to double up today.
Wow.
So it'd been 2 months that I actually went out and I even gotten any sorts of fast food or ordered out whatsoever. Just FYI.
Okay.
And that includes
Well,
ordering. By the way, we also ran out of Cheez-Its. I told my wife that those do not exist anymore. They've ate them all.
Cheese puffs. Anyway, with that said, yeah, it's all good, man. But trust me, I brown bagged it all my career at the USPS, and it paid off. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely,
okay? You'd be surprised how much money you save. My wife gave me a little crock pot from Aldi's, right? And this little crock pot, I put leftovers in it, plug it in when I come into work, and then when I go on the street, I bring it on the street. And by lunchtime, it was still steaming hot, man. I had a hot lunch every day.
Wow. Crock pot on the go. That's something.
Yeah, on the go, baby, on the go.
I'll throw like a cold cut sandwich together.
I like Joe. You know, the reason why I like Joe, he's a good daddy. You know, I was a good father to my kids. There's no doubt about it. So was my wife. You know, we raised our kids right, and they did very successful. I'm very fortunate and blessed.
Yeah.
But, I like Joe. It's called the Santa train, Joe, that you're taking your kids.
Yes.
And I believe it's behind Alabama A&M.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do. I think you're right.
Pinpoint exactly where he lives.
My question is, how early did you have to book that?
I believe so. We're doing it with my wife's family. Remember, when listening to Tom's show, you know how she has like 75 family members that were at the family Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. It's with the family, and they scheduled this thing all the way back like in July.
Yes. I was glad you said that, because everybody listening, that is a wonderful thing to take your children. Okay. And that was a smart move by you in July, because it gets booked up way before Christmas. So if you're listening to Joe, and Joe's probably going to describe it to you after he takes his kids, it's worth the cost. It's really cool, and the kids love it. But don't be left out. You got to do it early in the summer to book this.
Yeah, no, you did, and it is my wife's cousin who booked everything on this, and so she was fantastic with this. She invited us and her son and my daughter. They're like roughly around the same age, and so they're kind of growing up together on this, and it is amazing. Her husband's name, which I'm not going to say her name, but her husband's name is Gotham, and it is the coolest name in the world. Seriously,
double claps for that. I mean, good job for signing them up.
It is awesome. Her husband's name is Gotham, and so it's us.
What's the middle name? Joker?
No, trust me. I literally every time I see him, I just want to go and be like, "How are you?"
Hey, I'm sorry. Is that your son?
Yeah. Yes, that's my son.
Hey,
yes,
his middle name's City.
His son's name's Robin.
Hey, there you go. Anyway, listen. Real quickly, the thing about the wacky underdog pick, I'm still okay with the Seattle pick, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all. All then locked in right there.
Okay, good. Excellent. Okay.
I just wanted to let you know for next week, I will allow you to jump in on those playoff games, because I know it was a little bit back and forth on when we stopped the college votes, but honestly, screw it.
Well, I thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. It's like every time I pick now, I got to put it in a secret letter and get a security guard to bring it to you or something, because everybody's questioning my picks. So, dude, I'm not a scammer, man. I'm a legit dude. I'm that guy. I'm legit. So
this is the truth.
Anyway, yeah. With that said, and then I've got a bunch of toys for the kids I bought yesterday. But I also, if I wanted to cut a check, could I make the Toys for Tots?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's
Okay.
If you're going to make a check, then yes, make it to Toys for Tots. That's exactly who you make it to.
All right, now my last thing is, of course, we got a big game this weekend. You know what? I'm really leaning toward taking the Bills. I think our defense is still really. We're getting a little healthy, but not nowhere near where we need to be. And the Bills, Allen, he's got some wheels. He's a big guy, can make a first down on his feet. They had just come off a loss, and it's only 2.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm leaning toward maybe this might be a loss for the Lions, and I hate to say that, but it's an AFC team, so it's really not that bad of a loss. A loss is not good at all, but some losses are better than others, and I think against an AFC, it's not going to affect us in trying to get the home field advantage for the NFC.
I just want to put things into perspective, and I don't doubt that the Bills have an opportunity to win this game, but they've won with 30 points on the board since October 20th. 34 against the Titans, 31 against the Seahawks, 30 against the Bills, 30 against the Dolphins, 30 against the Colts. They had 30 against the Chiefs. I mean, the 30 is their number right there. 35 against the 49ers, and then just last week, 42 against that Rams team that ended up winning 44-42. So I could definitely see them putting up 30-plus points, but at the same time, Dan Campbell's defense a little bit more stout than I would say anybody's, even with the injuries that are on that side of the ball.
Well, and our offense can also score quite a few points too. So let's not,
Oh yeah.
So this is not going to be easy for me because my loyalty is with my Lions, but I'm sure Tom might have that on the board today. But I think I might have to mail in my picks too. I don't want to do them over the air anymore because
You're just giving away free winners, man. I mean, honestly, Tom should pay you to come on the air at times. He should.
No. You know what, man? I should pay you guys. And
It's your second career.
I tell you what. Oh, and your relative that told you about the Santa train. That sounds like a real sweet girl. Buy
She's
her a
absolutely
drink.
fantastic. No, she is
Buy her a
absolutely
drink.
fantastic. So no, and thank you for that, Dan. We appreciate it, man. Because no, it was, and I've actually been researching this thing a little bit more. It's actually really cool. With this whole thing that we're going to be doing tonight. Yes, it's the Santa train is what it's called. And I've never done this.
Get pictures for me because I know my girlfriend would love this stuff.
Yeah, no, it is. And I'm reading through the know before you go. And it's talking about picking up tickets beforehand, how early you got to be there, every bit of that. Okay, so yeah, no, it is going to be fun, but that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And then tomorrow night I will be on the call for the Havoc and the Marksman.
Well, very nice. So we have got plenty more to talk about. Of course, phone line's still open to you guys, 256-5764.
97.7.
The number to get into the show. I brought this up yesterday. We didn't fully get inside of it. And on top of that, we'll do the Bill Belichick thing in the final segment, Joe.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll hold off on that.
But I wanted to talk about some of these SEC schedules, and I look at them. And I counted off all of the POS teams that each team's got on it. It was very simple, all right? I did it very fast. The gauntlet level that they'll have to go through, 1 is the easy one, 5 is a hard, okay? That's how we're going to do it. I look at Alabama's, and I want your guys' opinions on it as well, so definitely keep those posted on your computers or on your phone if you're at your office. But Alabama's starts off, and I just see 2 POS teams, all right? And as I go down this list of teams, the schedule, I see a pretty tough, a pretty challenging year for the Crimson Tide. I gave it a 3.5, okay? I thought about it as a 4.
Wow.
But then I went down the list and I was thinking about it a little bit more.
And there's some people that are saying this could be the hardest schedule in the country. I mean, Drew even said that yesterday.
Exactly. Florida State, how good are they going to be? Like, let's be honest. On any other year, this would be one of those games that you look at, this is already a tough schedule. It's a Florida State team that sucked so bad.
But it's a Florida State team that sucked extremely bad in 2024.
Yeah.
And how different can this team be in 2025 as quickly as they can be?
And they sucked really quick compared to when they were good.
Oh, no, they were a Hoover vacuum cleaner.
They're able to be
suckage.
really good at one point and then really bad the next year. Are they going to be good in this next year? We'll have to wait and see. They got ULM. They got Wisconsin, of course. Say what you will. It's still a middle tier, I would say, above middle tier Big Ten team. Then you have a bye week at Georgia. Vanderbilt, we already know how that is. This one, thankfully, is going to be in Tuscaloosa. At Mizzou, not sure how this Mizzou team's going to be. Tennessee, South Carolina, bye week, LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia State, Auburn. So those POS teams that I was talking about, UL, Monroe, as well as Georgia State. Now, I think that one's tough, but I think it isn't as tough as Arkansas' schedule. I look at Arkansas' schedule. They also have 2 POS teams that they have to face off against, but I actually ended up giving them a 4.5. And that might make all you people to just be like, what? What are you talking about? They start off the season against Alabama A&M. They get Arkansas State. Now all of those POS games are out of the way because you got Ole Miss, Memphis. This is supposed to be a team that you're supposed to beat, but this is Memphis we're talking about.
At Ole Miss, at Memphis.
There you go.
That also changes. And what's crazy is this Arkansas schedule. They have a home game on August 30th, and then they don't return and play another home game until September 27th because the game against Arkansas State is a neutral site game in Little Rock.
Wow. Okay.
So
well, I guess you're right about that.
Yeah. See, and Arkansas does this at times. The state of Arkansas was really big about before the stadium in Fayetteville got built to what it was. They used to play games in Little Rock, and so they've always gone back and at least tried to play one game there. It used to be SEC games, but now they're just playing non-conference games. And so now that's where they're going to be taking on Arkansas State, which obviously is coming from Jonesboro, and it's in-state matchup. And then after that, they are then not back at home again until October 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Because of open dates and a road game in Knoxville. Like, this schedule, especially at the beginning, once they get into the month of November, it starts to become extremely difficult.
Yeah, and we didn't even throw
beginning
out,
of September, I should say.
We didn't throw out the game following at Memphis, Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's the one that they get at home.
Yeah,
is Notre Dame.
So then they go. They have a bye week: Tennessee, Texas A&M, Auburn, and then the list kind of goes throughout the SEC. You get Texas second week from the end, and then
at LSU in November.
At
Texas as well.
Sheesh.
So
I think a 4.5 is pretty good for them.
Love you, Sam Pittman.
Gonna be honest. Yeah, his time at Arkansas might be coming to an end. I wanted to throw out Auburn, Tennessee, and maybe Texas as well, but I'll throw out Auburn first because, of course, we are in Alabama. Got to show up to this team as they get into their slate of games. They've got 3 POS teams on the schedule. I gave them a 2.5, Joe. I want to know your opinions on that since you are the Auburn dude, but you start off at Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama, then it gets into the SEC play. Oklahoma, Texas A&M, this is where it gets tough. Georgia, Mizzou, at Arkansas, Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, a bye week, and then you get Mercer and Alabama. I mean, this is just 2.5 seems about right for this.
Well, and we don't know a lot about the thing about making the decision about what the schedule and what the rankings of these schedules are going to be right now.
Yeah.
Is very difficult, being that we still have the transfer portal open and we still have another National Signing Day coming up in February. Yeah. But with all these changes that are happening and portals and all this stuff, we don't know what Baylor is going to be next season. We don't know exactly what Oklahoma is going to be next year, but obviously we assume that they're going to be better because Jackson Arnold is already entering the transfer portal. You still have your Georgia game. You're going to have Alabama at home. You then do have to travel to Vanderbilt, which, again, even with Vanderbilt being good, it's still a home game for the away teams.
And are they going to have Diego? That's the big
well,
question.
And I don't even think it comes down to Diego. This team has momentum right now, and this stadium, again, even with the momentum that they were getting, you still saw a ton of Tennessee fans there for this final game. That was a rivalry game, and if there was any game this season that you should have more Vanderbilt fans than Tennessee fans, it would have been that one.
You would think.
But it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So they're on the road at Oklahoma and at Texas A&M, back-to-back weekends. And remember, September in Texas, still 90 degrees. Like, this isn't like it's going to be an easy one. You know what I'm saying? So Texas is always hot. A lot of times, remember when Alabama went there back in like 13, it was like 101, 102, and that wasn't the on-field temperature. So
do you think a 2.5, though, or you think a little bit higher than that? You think it's a tougher schedule?
The Baylor part of this is going to be the question for me because I don't know how good they're going to be in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Because this Baylor team historically has been very good.
Yeah.
First game of the season, whole new team. I don't know with that one. I would say 2.5 right now. That could jump up to a 3.5, depending on how Oklahoma and Baylor does in the transfer.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, again, these are all early predictions on how these schedules will actually be because we're not even halfway through the first transfer portal, so we're going to wait and see. But last team I wanted to talk about, Tennessee, POS teams 3. I also gave them a 2.5, which is honestly, it's not. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means that you're going to have a little bit of an easier slate than some other teams. You start off the season against the Syracuse team that has been feisty this past year. Then you get Eastern Tennessee State. Then you get Georgia, UAB, Mississippi State. You got to go to Mississippi State. Probably not going to be too hard, but again, they have to deal with the transfer portal. Bye week, Arkansas at Alabama, at Kentucky, versus Oklahoma. Bye week, New Mexico State, at Florida, finish off against Vanderbilt.
See, I would actually give this one about a 2. I mean,
you think it's easier than
I think because the reason I say that is two things are different about the Tennessee schedule than what normally is. Normally, their first SEC game of the season is against Florida. Now that's going to be one of your last ones.
That's crazy.
And what's crazy about it is now Tennessee is kind of in this boat that Auburn used to be in, just as far as the schedule is concerned, where they're going to be playing 2 rivalry games in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Auburn and Alabama used to have a POS team in between, but they're going to play Florida on the 22nd November, turn around and play Vanderbilt the very next week. Depending on how good Florida is, again, in the transfer portal, that could be – you could have a letdown against Vanderbilt in a thought process. Same thing, you get Oklahoma at home. Really, the only difficult game that you have on the road is the Alabama game. I mean, Mississippi State, depending on how the changes that they could have in the season, they're still not going to be a top 5 SEC team.
They're not going to be the Vanderbilt of this past
No,
season.
and again, Kentucky's always going to be a heated matchup, but again, it's still the Kentucky-Tennessee rivalry. The Georgia game at home next year, remember, most likely Georgia's going to be starting with a brand new quarterback. This actually hurts Georgia more than what it benefits them in this, because they're in a similar situation what we talk about with Alabama. A lot of times if you wanted to get Georgia, you do it early on in the season while they're still trying to figure out who they are, especially if Carson Beck isn't back, especially if you are going to go with Gunner. You could see a little bit of a rust on this Georgia team 3 weeks into the regular season. They're getting them in Knoxville. That's going to be one of those college game day matchups that you're going to see. It's kind of unique that they're going to be playing this game in September. But outside that, I mean, honestly, this season to me on paper is Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah, it's got playoffs written all over Tennessee.
No, you do, because you get Georgia at home. So you get past Georgia at home, you're looking at either an undefeated season or a 1-loss season, depending on what happens in Tuscaloosa.
Having Georgia week 3 in Knoxville is similar to Alabama getting Georgia early in Tuscaloosa. That's how I look at it. And that was with Carson Beck and this team, with all the hope and the hype that they had around him. On top into the phone lines before we get into our break, we got Jason on with us. Jason, how you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
Wonderful, man. Wonderful.
Hey, I got you an underdog pick, a surefire winner.
All right, that's what I like to hear. What you got for us?
I want the Pittsburgh Steelers in the points this weekend.
I love this pick. I may be right there with you on this one, because I'm still trying to figure out, because the spread actually started lower than what it is now. The spread has moved up to 5.5 on Philadelphia now, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, you got AJ Brown crying. Jalen Hurts is going to struggle with the Pittsburgh defense. So Pittsburgh all the way.
Yeah, and it's weird, Jason, and thanks for that phone call, because this Philadelphia game, it started off as a 4.5-point spread, and it's continued to grow to a 5.5-point spread, still in favor of the Eagles in this. So that means that people are still picking Philadelphia over Pittsburgh. And look, for a line, a lot of times for it to move just a 0.5 point from, like, say, a 4.5 to a 5, that means that over $1 million has been put down on a particular bet. So to move it this, that somebody has bet, they get $2 million is what you're talking about, just to move this bet from 4.5 to 5.5. So it's unique to see this, because I know this Eagles team is good. I know that it is being played in Philadelphia, but this 5.5-point spread for the Steelers, I may be on this with Jason.
No, and at the beginning of the season with the Steelers, of course, Justin Fields, that quarterback, it looked like the Steelers of last year, or 2 years ago, I'll say that looked good, at least on paper, with the record being pretty nice. but at the same time, not a lot of people actually believed in what this team could do. Now this team actually is doing what this team is capable of doing, and a lot of it comes down to Russell being that guy, truly being that guy. Let's take it to break. When we get back, your phone calls as well as getting into what Bill Belichick had to say as he was inducted as the UNC head coach. I was reading what ESPN just said up there.
Did they say inducted?
They said inducted.
It's introductory.
They inducted him.
He got inducted.
We'll be back.
He's already
You're on
UNC's
the
most
morning
famous
blitz
coach.
on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Mostly clear sky expected for this Friday night. Temperatures going to fall into the low 40s for the overnight. Heading into our Saturday, scattered showers going to be possible mainly in the afternoon. Otherwise, you can expect to see mostly clouds. High temperatures topping out in the upper 50s. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You know, it's funny. I was watching just a random skit on my phone, and it was from a newer cartoon. I don't really know what the name is, but there was a JoJo's reference in that as well.
Yeah, you want to know a little bit of why I played that?
Huh.
Part 7's in production.
Is it?
It is.
How do you know?
It's been made official.
I gotta take a look at that.
Started production in August.
Joe's like, what are these guys talking about? They're talking about me, right? JoJo's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
literally, JoJo's.
I know that you're. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
No idea.
No clue whatsoever.
That's right. Bill Belichick is kind of the same way as he's talking about college football.
These kids are
Yeah, I'm here to develop NFL players. They're really going to know when they're in the NFL.
Yeah,
they're going to know.
Just talking to recruits. Hey, so you coming or what?
Yeah.
Exactly. As we got to hear him, of course, get inducted into
abducted by North Carolina.
the Tar Heels.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, and
do we need to read between the lines and everything he's saying? Okay, take his transcripts and underline the first letter of every sentence and tell me if it says anything that we need to know.
Bill, blink twice if you're all right.
I don't think he blinked once in that entire thing. No, it's typical Belichick, and you gotta love it that he's still the same dude, but he's gonna run these kids ragged. I'm gonna admit.
Oh, this is his. This was the first thing he said in the presser. Maybe it was the first thing he said. Maybe my.
You know, I'm just gonna break the board if this is gonna be the. I broke the
No,
board.
why did you break the board?
Because you could have played something.
I could have played something, and I was trying to play something, but you're the one over there that didn't let me.
And so
there we go.
One story I always heard was Billy's first words were, "Beat Duke."
This is a Bill Belichick joke. And this was my favorite part of the whole press conference.
Bill, what do you say to people that fear that if you do succeed here, that you might leave for the NFL again in a year or two?
Yeah, I didn't come here to leave.
Now, what's so great about that is there is about a 2 or 3 second pause where everybody's going, is that it? Is he done talking? Oh, yay!
The one person.
I didn't come here to leave.
I didn't come here to leave.
You know who I feel bad for?
Wait. Oh, we clap. Okay, we clap. Yay! They had no clue. Yeah. They don't. Have they never seen a Bill Belichick press conference?
Probably not. They might be too young.
Maybe.
But no, I feel bad for the student reporters there over in North Carolina. You're trying to get your leg into the game. You're trying to get into the system. And you got to talk to Bill Belichick for one of your first interviews.
Yeah, talking up to it, dude. Jeez. Yeah.
You wanted to.
I
heard that.
$30 million guaranteed. Of course, 5-year contract, $10 million a year. So he could end up making, of course, $50 million through, 77 years old? 76, 77 years old?
Yeah, 76, 77.
Wow.
Again, I think that either this is an experiment of multiple ways, but I truly think that what North Carolina is going to do is they are saying if this is now NIL, we're paying for players, this is what we're going to do, then we are going to get somebody in that has been inside that world.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring it in this way, and we're going to invest in a way that an NFL team would. And so that's why they're bringing in Michael Lombardi. That's the reason why Bill Belichick is setting this design up the way that he is. And NIL-wise, he's going to have money. I think last year there was reports that the NIL fund at North Carolina for football was only like $4 to $5 million, and since the Bill Belichick announcement, it's already been raised to $20 million, and there's potential of even more money getting put into the NIL fund. So now you're starting to talk about a totally different atmosphere. But the other part I'm going to be curious about is the transfer portal part of this, because if you're Belichick, obviously, what you just said, you're not coming in here to get your first recruiting class and build them up all the way for the next 4 years and be like, hey, in 4 years, we're winning a national championship. You want to come out and win now. Yeah. And so I want to see, one, who he's going to hire as offensive coordinator and who he's going to hire as defensive coordinator, because obviously we have rumors about who could be potentially both of those. But then the connections that he's going to use through the transfer portal, because as much as we think that players are going to be going to X or going to Y, until the moment that they've signed and they're officially on that campus, North Carolina could be a player when you're talking about trying to, quote unquote, buy a championship in this first season underneath Bill Belichick. It's a legit thought, especially in an ACC that's down, because it's Clemson. As much as we forgot about them for 75% of this year, it's Clemson in Miami.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what
until
it's
Florida State proves that they can improve.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to be awesome to have him on the sidelines and just be able to follow this UNC team throughout the season. And I want to ask you guys a question. Bill Belichick, in his first year of a head coaching job in college, is already the oldest college coach ever to be in the game. Do you guys know who's number 2 now?
Who's number 2?
God, I want to say it's the guy replaced.
Nick Saban. Nick Saban was 72 when he was done.
Oh.
No.
I guess, yeah, because Matt Brown technically isn't in college football anymore.
72 years old, Bill Belichick already is. And he's going to be, well, I guess Nick Saban's probably 71, but he's going to be 77 if he works out throughout this entire career.
Well, they technically did go younger.
Yeah, well, he's already recruiting like a champ.
They fired Matt Brown for the whippersnapper.
Golly. We'll take it to break when we get back. Second hour of the Morning Blitz coming to you here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looking for your next adventure to be out of this world but don't have enough money to buy a spaceship and leave orbit? Well, look no further than Divergence VR theme park off of Governor's Drive Southwest in Huntsville, Alabama. Are zombies more your style? How about driving your favorite cars on the world's fastest tracks? Or maybe a gorilla game that has you climbing up tall trees to escape other gorillas? Wait, that's actually a thing? Huh. Would you look at that? For whatever adventure you can dream of, call 256-203-4128 to get your VR adventure started now.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant, and is now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On yesterday's edition of Crimson Tribe, driven by NASCAR, we were joined by former Crimson Tide great and now SEC Network analyst Richard Hendricks. From your perspective, how have you seen this team grow throughout the first few weeks of the year?
Well, I think they started off the season strong. I think the biggest question for me was going to be, how could Nate Oates manage a roster that had so many talented guards? He's done a really good job of making sure that he's keeping everyone in the roster in action and playing at a high level. You have the loss to Latrell Wrightsell, which is definitely going to be a blow to the team. But when you have so many players to step up, you definitely have some opportunities to continue to be a really good team.
I'll have more in a moment.
Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers, an Alabama tailgate tradition. Founded in Haleyville, Alabama in 1965, Guthrie's has been a Bama fan favorite for years. From your hometown to college towns all around, Guthrie's is still serving the family's original Southern fried chicken recipe just like always, fresh, hot, and fast. Make Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers the MVP of your next tailgate. Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
We've got you covered this weekend for Alabama basketball at home in Tuscaloosa. The men's team returns to action against Creighton on Saturday night with tip-off at 7:30 p.m. Central and our radio start time at 6:30. Then on Sunday, the women's basketball team hosts Murray State at 2 p.m. with radio airtime at 1:45 all across the network. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Big Zone Deals, Big Zone Deals, get your Big Zone Deals. I may not be a great singer, but I am great at finding a deal. And I just came across the Mother Load. Just log on zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net and you can stuff those stockings with $50 gift certificates for half price at great restaurants like Sea Salt Urban Oyster Bar, Full Moon Barbecue, Bubby's Diner, Coralejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Lawler's Barbecue, Bigfoot's Little Donuts, Apple Lane Farms in Decatur, and Metro Diner. And how about half price certificates for the kids at Flow Trampoline Park or the ultimate virtual reality experience at Divergence Huntsville. Got a golfer on your list? Check out half-price deals at Gunner's Landing and Cherokee Ridge. Black Friday deals don't hold a candle to big zone deals, but these are limited, and when they're gone, they're gone. Shop now and save. Go to zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net. Fill those stockings without emptying your wallet. zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Brought to you by G-Bank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. VSIN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
NFL Week 15 will start on Thursday night when the San Francisco 49ers take on the LA Rams at Levi's Stadium. The Niners are 6-7, and they will continue the rest of the season without running back Christian McCaffrey, while the Rams have won 6 of their last 8, got healthy, and now it's 7-6. One game back of Seattle for the division lead. San Francisco has dropped 3 of 4. The 49ers are a 3-point home favorite, -105 against the spread. The Rams getting the 3 points are -115. On the money line, Los Angeles is at +130. San Francisco -150 with the over-under sitting at 49.5. For VSIN.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
3, 2, 1.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, Bailey Lowery, 256-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Conversation really never stops, and so it doesn't matter if the show's actually started. We're still talking off the air. It's second hour, best hour, favorite hour, most fun hour, everything hour.
No Snoop Dogg hour.
No, then there's Snoop Dogg. By saying no Snoop Dogg, that brings Snoop Dogg into the conversation. You see how this happens.
Damn it.
The best way to not bring Snoop Dogg up is to not actually speak of him, and he doesn't get brought into the show.
Everywhere.
He absolutely is.
I can't tell you the last song I actually listened to about. Oh, and then there's Bronny. Okay, yeah. Well, there's more to talk about Bronny than there is Snoop Dogg. I'll be honest with you. He was able to put up 30 points in a G League game. I don't know.
Yeah, they actually took him on the road this time.
Yeah, he did well.
They let him hang out on the bus.
No, well, I mean, put up 30 points in the bus though.
Yeah, it's a G League game.
Yeah.
It's a G League game.
Like, good job.
He was drafted in the second round of the NBA. I just
want
to remember that.
30 points in a G League is like 5 points in Europe.
Jeez.
Which 5 points in Europe is not getting you to the NBA.
No, it is not.
Just but showing the correlation of math here, okay? There's a point in Europe, it doesn't matter how you actually the transition and the way that it all get. No.
Algebra.
Nothing. Okay? It does not count. What does going to count and what is going to count is going to be the Heisman Trophy, and that's going to be talked about a lot over the course of the next 24 hours, even though all the pick in everybody's picks and selections are already in.
Yeah.
Like you already know, okay? There's an envelope somewhere, the tallies have been made, the charts with everything in it has already been written up and colored and everything, and we're going to be able to zoom in and see what county voted where like it's a presidential election.
Oh, I wish.
We know what's happening, okay? But it's going to be a major discussion, and we're going to continue in a little bit as well. So you can hop in at 256-5764.
97.7.
Don't forget, tomorrow is going to be a massive day on 97.7 ESPN The Zone for football, basketball, hockey, whatever it is. We've got the Cricket Celebration Bowl coming up at 10:30 in Atlanta. Did you say Jackson State's in that?
Yeah.
Dion's ex?
Yep.
She's playing in that. Army Navy is going to be live on 97.7 ESPN The Zone tomorrow afternoon.
Huge game. Right?
You've got Creighton in Alabama. Basketball tomorrow night at 7:30 is the number 7 team in the country. Welcomes in. Was Blue Jays? Isn't that their colors? Their mascot? Yeah.
Remember, this is a good Creighton team that's already beaten Kansas as well. I mean, this is going to be a really good matchup.
It's going to be a March Madness team, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, UAH men's basketball going to be facing off against Lee over on Talk Radio WZZN as well. It's the Charger Zone, so definitely keep an eye on our social media, either on X or on Facebook, for all of the links to that if you are on the go.
And then you also have Havoc Hockey tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as well on the Havoc Zone. So there's plenty of things that you could be paying attention to as well. The women tip-off at 1 o'clock. You'll be able to watch that one on Flow Sports. And then the men, number 12 team in the country are the UAH Chargers. And they are heading up to Cleveland to take on the Lee Flames. And that tip-off is going to be at 3 o'clock over on Talk Radio WZZN HD. And then, if you're an Auburn fan, Auburn and Ohio State are also playing in basketball at noon tomorrow as well. And I believe that game is going to be on Fox. No, it's on ESPN2. I just said that, as a matter of fact.
You're very excited for that, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm excited about the fact that that's probably like the last real game that we're going to see of Auburn and Tennessee until we get into SEC play at the beginning of the year, because the next couple of games are going to be kind of like warm-up games for the most part, because they're going to be getting into SEC play, which now the SEC is arguably the best conference in college basketball, especially after the ACC challenge. Then you could probably
throw that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And awards got handed out last night. Travis Hunter is your AP Player of the Year. He also won the award for the best wide receiver, as well as the player that had the most impact on the defensive side of the ball. But Ashton Genty won the
yeah.
And I had to bring it up because I could tell everybody was kind of sitting there going, "Are you going to say it?"
We want Ashton
Genty. He was the top running back this year, and he also won another award to go along with that. And it's not even on the list. I know he won 2 awards. How did it not get put on the list?
He got the Maxwell Award, which is, again, one of the best players of the year. Him alongside Travis Hunter, as he got the Walter Camp Award. And then you get to see Ashton Genty, of course, get the Doak Walker Award, which is the best running back at all.
See, and this is the reason why I was saying it that way, as in, hey, it's the best quarterback, because a lot of times your casual fan is not going to know what, like, the Davey O'Brien Award is. It's like, wait a second, I know that's a big award. I can't remember who it's a big award for.
Yeah, Cam Ward got the Davey O'Brien Award, of course, best quarterback. The Remington Award's going to affect some people. You might know the name Seth McLaughlin, best center in all of college football. Yeah, he's still playing college football, guys, just with Ohio State, of course, in the playoffs.
That's where it is. Okay.
But I just kind of want to bring something up for y'all. Fun little fact about the Maxwell Award.
Tell me about it.
Is it sponsored by Maxwell House?
I wish.
Okay.
Last couple of the award winners, though, have either been up for the Heisman or have actually really flat out won the Heisman.
Yeah.
Because you go back through it. You have Michael Penix Jr. last year.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams the year before.
That's a winner right there.
Bryce Young in 2021.
That's another winner.
Devontae Smith in 2020.
That's another winner.
Joe Burrow in 2019.
That's another winner.
Tua in 18.
That's another winner.
Baker Mayfield 17.
Wow, there actually are a lot. Last year was like the only year it feels like there wasn't a winner.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson 16. You go down the list, you got Derrick Henry behind him, then Marcus Mariota, AJ McCarron, Manti Te'o, Andrew Luck, Cam Newton.
Yeah, some of those guys won. No.
You can keep going back, but again, I'm still making the case for Genty for Heisman. This is a
Look,
and
there's a reason behind it.
And I'm saying with Travis Hunter, it's great that you won the Biletnikoff. I'm happy for you. I really think it should have gone to Nick Nash.
Really?
I feel like out of San Jose State, one of only 4 players to get the wide receiving triple crown for most receiving yards, leading in receiving yards, leading in receptions, and leading in receiving touchdowns at the end of a year.
Yeah.
And let me ask you about that.
That's
because
huge, too.
No. And I'm asking, like, is this thing, like, are we just everybody just drinking the Travis Hunter Gatorade on this? Like, are we just, gotta say Kool-Aid, but it's football. So the Gatorade, like, why is it that everybody's so in love? I get two-way player, amazing, but you bring up Nick Nash, and I get that it's San Jose State, but you're right. He led the country in receiving yards, led the country in touchdowns, receptions, all of this. So why would Travis Hunter, who was 6th in a lot of these categories, or especially in the yards per game category, was 6th in the nation, why is he winning the awards?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
I know. Can you boil it down to popularity?
Well, I think you can boil it down to the opponents. And
Is this the Deion effect?
Well,
I mean, is this the hype machine that is Deion Sanders? And I'm not trying to be funny about it.
Well, I mean, a little bit, because think about who we've been hearing about all year.
Yeah.
Colorado, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, and this has been a better year for the team, so there's actually a reason to have some national coverage around them. And on top of that, again, we're already questioning whether or not Boise State is going to be a big enough college to host or to have a guy win, of course, the Heisman Trophy. When you go down even farther, you got San Jose State also in the Mountain West. You think about this team, you think about the challenges they've had to go through. They've been a good team all season long, but again, you throw out a name that a lot of people haven't even heard of this season, and that's mainly because he's on San Jose State. He doesn't have a coach that's named Deion Sanders or Bill Belichick, who's going to be next year. Of course, a lot of people are going to be focused on that team, but yeah, you're right. Best wide receiver probably should have went to the best wide receiver regardless of the competition that he had to play against, because again, right now, a Boise State player from the Mountain West is also in the running for a Heisman Trophy. So let's just equal this out and make it fair for everybody who's actually competing at the top level of college football.
I would also like to throw one more case out for Ashton Genty.
Okay.
If Colorado has Ashton Genty, they're in the playoff. If Boise State has Travis Hunter, they're not in.
You could make that argument because Colorado's one piece that they were missing was a running back. And if you take out Travis Hunter, they still have wide receivers. Maybe not as electric as Travis Hunter, but they also still have the defense. Again, maybe not as electric as having Travis Hunter, but still good enough to probably make a push. I wouldn't say to the college playoffs if you don't have Travis Hunter on the team, but you'd probably be able to be around the exact same, I would say, when it comes to your record.
Well, I think that this is the difference when you're talking about a running back making an impact on a game as compared to what a wide receiver does. Now, and this is the reason why, I mean, you can go back and, Devontae Smith, you can look at all the other players. I mean, even Desmond Howard, you can go all the way back there and talk about his impact on a football game as the non-quarterback of trying to win the Heisman Trophy. And yes, Travis Hunter has 11 passes defended on the defensive side. They have been thrown at a lot in this. He does have 4 interceptions, which is like tied for like 8th in the country, because I think the leader in the country is at like 6. Those are these impacts. But see, for me, I'm looking at this as Travis Hunter and his impact on the game is really dictated on a reactionary decision, because every stat that he has is a reactionary one. Whereas with the decisions that the quarterback makes, that is going to be intentional. Now, he is reacting to the defense, but it's not up to Travis Hunter if he gets the football. It's not up to Travis Hunter if the football gets thrown in his direction when he's on the defensive side. Whereas normally, except for like an option call where you can literally make the decision not to give it to him, the play is always going to be determined to be given to Ashton Genty. And in this aspect, you take off that player. And I think that's, for me, is where I'm big on. No, I'm not a Heisman voter. We have 2 of them on the radio station. I am not one of them.
I'm not one of them either.
I'm going to say that probably in the next decade or so, I'm going to eventually have the opportunity to be one. I'm just going to call out. I'm just going to say it.
Putting those goals.
I mean, just, you put it into the universe, okay? And this is how I would be looking at this Heisman vote when I'm trying to rank these players. If there was a tie, like if we're using this as a committee ourselves, and we're like, hey, if we get down and there's 2 players that we cannot figure out if this is number 1 or that's number 1, what is going to be the determining factor? And for me, what the determining factor was going to be is, if you take them off of this team, is this team in the same and or a similar spot as what they are when I am making this vote after the conference championship weekend?
You know damn well Boise State would not be in the playoffs without Ashton Genty on their team.
And that is where my answer comes.
There
Because I'm looking and thinking like, yes, Boise State over the past few seasons, like if you just go back and look at their past few seasons,
they've been all right.
They have been good.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Boise State, and if you're not going to a Power 5, a lot of times you would be going to Boise State. They have won 10-plus games like the last 5 of the last 6 years. It's not that they're a bad football team.
Right.
But with this team now, and especially with the way that college football is designed, being the number 1 team in the Mountain West now is not going to be sending you to the Las Vegas Bowl. It is now going to be sending you to the college football playoff depending on your record. Like this is where college football is in a totally different idea. And a lot of times I like to say the state of Alabama needs to start thinking differently. The city of Huntsville needs to start thinking differently. College football needs to start thinking differently, especially the quote unquote G5s. Because there is no more G5. There are schools in the G5 that have just the same amount of enrollees as what you have in the Power Fives. You have the opportunity to get to the exact same championship game as the P4s. There is no difference whatsoever on this playing field. The only difference is the way that it is marketed. I promise you, let's use Travis Hunter, for instance, and I call it the prime hype machine. If Deion Sanders would have went to San Diego State, let's just throw them in. I know they'll eventually be a power 4, but if they would have went to San Diego State and Travis Hunter goes there with him and Shadir Sanders goes there with him, you know for sure College Game Day would have been on campus for a game. Prime would have been everywhere doing videos. Everybody would have known what Travis Hunter was doing and Shadir Sanders would have been doing. This is, you know that it's possible. You just need the right hype man. And other schools need to come into this idea. With Boise State has been dominant for decades. It doesn't matter if it was Harsin. It doesn't matter if it was Peterson. It doesn't matter if it's whoever their new coach name, Andy Avalos or whatever his name is. It doesn't matter who it is. They have been dominant in college football at the G5 level. In fact, so dominant that it is now just a normal thing that Boise State is going to win 10-plus games a year, and they're going to play in the Mountain West championship game, and they're either going to win or lose. Like, it's okay. They're either going to go to the Las Vegas Bowl because that was the ceiling for the Mountain West. That's not the case now. So now with Genty, he has gotten this team not just to the college football playoff. He's not just now they're going and playing at Ohio State next week, or they're going to or Arizona State next week, or they're going to be flying to Texas next week. No. They have a first-round bye next week. And Travis Hunter had the opportunity to get Colorado in the Big 12 game, and he didn't do it. Colorado didn't do it.
Simply, yeah.
So, and yes, that game played against Kansas, neutral site because it's played at Arrowhead, but it's a Kansas home game, and they didn't do this. Yeah. So, and I get the hype machine. He's playing both ways. But here's the problem about this, and this is the reason why Travis Hunter's been following Prime around this entire time. Deion let him know you can play both sides of the ball. Do you realize, and I'm not going to give you the number because I don't know the exact number, how many players right now that are 5-star players in college football that have just signed their letter of intent to a school that could play both ways if their coach gave them the opportunity?
I'd say over 100.
It is. I mean, there are that many players that can do the same thing that Travis Hunter's doing.
Yeah.
Yet the schools are the ones choosing not to. We make a big deal now when there is a football player that also plays baseball. This Clemson player, because it happened for Clemson. This Clemson player, last year, you remember him playing for the Clemson Tigers across the street, running down the hill and rubbing Howard's Rock. By the way, look at what Howard's Rock is before you think I just said something perverted. You had that. It's a big deal.
Yep.
These players can play both ways. It's just the schools letting them. It is guys like Nick Saban's like, nope, we have players that can play this side of the ball. You are only going to focus this way. Look at the games that we played. There were games that we've covered on 97.7 that Travis Hunter there were 60 of them playing both ways. Oh, this player right here, he's also playing cornerback for the team. Oh, he's playing wide receiver for the team, and he's also playing – I mean, it happens a lot.
In high school, it's really just called the X Factor. A guy that can play all fronts of the football, and we do need to take a 2 break, and that's exactly what we will do, but we will continue the conversation when we get back. 256-5764
97.7
is the number to hop into the conversation here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Bob Baumhauer here. Are you out of ideas for those stocking stuffers? Our selection of delicious signature sauces make great stocking stuffers for that chef of the house. Kick up your favorite holiday dish with our legendary hot sauce. If you enjoy our char-grilled black and white chicken, then grab a bottle of our fabulous legendary white barbecue sauce. Would you like to have a Bam Bam shrimp on your holiday menu? That's easy. Just pick up a bottle of Baumhauer's Thai sweet chili sauce. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are our grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional, in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Y'all know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key, hated on by most these with no cheese, no deals and no G's, no wheels and no keys, no boats, no snowmobiles and no skis. Mad at me because I can finally afford to provide my family with
I tried to drop a Dre reference last night during the UAH basketball game. I don't know if it landed or not, but it was, it was literally, it was straight from that song. Because every time UAH kept wanting to bring the ball out underneath the basket, they kept putting it right there on the Charger G.
Still the same old G.
Yep, still the same old G. That's the same thing I said, and I was like, I don't know if anybody got that or not.
Yeah. I know, just kind of listening to that too, I just realized I have not forgotten about Dre.
Yeah, Dr. Dre, who remembers?
He's locked in Eminem's basement.
Yeah.
You could say that. Golly, Eminem, he's just one person in and of itself. Continuing on with the conversation, of course, talking a little bit of Heisman. Of course, you guys are able to hop in a lot of the awards. On top of that, Wacky Underdog Picks. You guys able to hop in 256-5764.
97.7
is the number to hop in. If you don't want to call into the show, it's totally fine. You can head over to our YouTube page over at WZZN TV. Subscribe to that bad boy. Click on the live that is going on right now, and you're going to be able to watch us as well as hop into the chat and put down your wacky underdog pick if you are a little too busy to call in to your favorite boys. But let's hop into those phone lines because we got Dale on with us. Dale, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
I don't know. I'm not a big NFL guy, so I guess I'm just going out on a limb on my wacky underdog. I think I'm going to take the Steelers.
That Steelers pick is going to be a big one because you may have three of us that are on with you on that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, no. The reason is because it's a really good pick. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's because Steelers are a team that people are still second guessing. They still don't believe in Russell Wilson. They still don't believe in this. I don't think George Pickens is going to play again this weekend, so they're going to be down the number one wide receiver, and they're going into Philadelphia to take on the Eagles, but the Steelers' defense is going to be really good on Sunday.
Yeah, and regardless of that, I believe Jason right now is the only other guy that's picked the Steelers.
Like I said, you may have a lot of people on there with you.
Maybe Joe will hop in
That'd
on
be
it,
fine.
but it'll
Yeah.
still push
I think-
you above, I think, 4th place. So, I mean, you'll be up in the top of the list.
Yeah, I think I got some points last week. I couldn't talk.
You
I was
did.
sick. I just called in.
Yeah.
Left it on thing. I was so sick. I don't know what I had. I think I had the plague. I don't know what it was.
Probably had what I had. It's nothing fun.
Like sinuses and hacking and coughing, and that's all it was. But I mean, it just put me down for a couple of days. But
well, glad you're-
anyway,
glad
I was
you're
going to
feeling
ask you what do y'all think about? I think I heard y'all talking about the Marshall thing yesterday. Have y'all heard for sure half their team or most of their team's gonna hit the portal?
Dude, I think all their team hit the portal. I think all their team hit the portal. Seriously, when I mean, this is about to be the 70s all over again for different reasons. They're about to have a whole new football team, man.
That's the only thing I was thinking.
I know, that's crazy. That's what I was thinking, man. That's just wild.
I think they've already called Matthew McConaughey to come in and help again. I mean, he done it once. He could try to do it again.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess, I don't know, like y'all were saying or somebody was saying, they must have done that coach dirty or they got into a big something they didn't like or they would have kept him around, you know. He had a good record and won, so there was something that happened in the back that nobody knows about.
Yeah, it's wild. Saying at least 25 Marshall players hopped into the portal on Thursday, the day after it opened, including their 3 quarterbacks and 3 of the team's top 7 wide receivers.
It's gonna be crazy.
And their leading rusher, A.J. Turner.
What's gonna be really funny is if every one of these players tried to go to Southern Miss.
Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God.
That's what I was going to say. It'd be something if they all went to Southern Miss.
Yes.
Man, that's wild too.
That'd
And
be crazy.
on defense, it's
Yeah,
not
and I
much
also
better.
agree. I also agree with y'all. I think if Ginty don't win the Heisman, he probably won't just because Deion's out there hyping up Hunter. But I mean, it'd be a travesty if he don't win it.
No, and I think that genuinely, this is the one type of season now. If you're looking at a season where college football is totally different, and you're having a college football playoff where Arizona State is in, SMU is in, Boise State is getting a first-round bye. Like, there's a reason Boise State got a first-round bye. There's a reason why the College Football Playoff Committee sat down, watched the film, and said that Boise State was one of the 4 best conference champions in college football. Like, there's a reason for that. It's not just hey, you're trying to hype up the little guy. No, they're a good football team. But at the same time, you can argue that the right Colorado player isn't even in New York.
Yeah, Shador probably should be there before him.
And look, Dale, I'm telling you, if you look at the numbers, Shador actually probably should be there instead of Travis Hunter.
he should.
I mean, because if you look at even a simple thing like completion percentage, I mean, like, how many passes do you complete? Shadir Sanders is number 1 in the country with over 74% completion percentage.
He should be and like you were just saying, though, I mean, if it wasn't for a Scatterbo, whatever his name is from Arizona State, that dude's got ungodly numbers too. You know, he's got all kind of rushing and touchdowns. He's a beast. So he should be considered up there too instead of Hunter, in my opinion. Without him, Arizona State probably don't win nowhere near the games they won.
No, and that's where the importance of the running back position. Again, this wasn't just that Ashton Ginty had a really good season, Dale. This is the fact that he seriously dominated teams.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I mean, it is going out, all 11 players on the field going, we are stopping him, and still not being able to stop him.
He put up more yards than most teams' offense did.
Still gets 200 yards, even though you got 10 in the box, still gets 200 yards.
Absolutely. Like that's the wild thing. If you say I'm going to stop Travis Hunter, you can do so. You can double team him. You can bracket him. You can do a bunch of things with him defensively.
Don't throw it to him.
That takes it out where Shadir Sanders couldn't even get the football to him. But Genty, all he has to do is get the football from the quarterback, and it is done.
Yeah. I'd like to see him play. I'd really like to see him play Tennessee with their defense just to see what he could do against Tennessee's defense.
No doubt about
Their
that.
front seven is pretty good. I'd like to see that matchup.
Well, they're either going to get Penn State or SMU in that Fiesta Bowl. So, I mean, we'll have to wait until it'll have to be the national championship if that comes.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Tennessee, Boise State, national championship in Atlanta. Let's go.
You guys should say it. I'm not.
Let's go.
Joe, we're going. If that happens, we're going.
We're there. I'll tell you, I have not walked on a catwalk since '98. I will sit on that thing and do the show from up there.
I'll sit up there with you because I don't like heights either.
There we go. See, you and I will do it, and then we'll do that. Thanks for that, Dale. And we'll do that. We'll do that bungee thing that the Falcon always does, coming down during a football game. We'll just fly down on that sucker.
Yeah, you're good.
Don't.
You're good for that.
If it's Tennessee, Boise State, that is the deal.
It's funny that
don't know if we could do that, but we're gonna say it.
It's funny that Dale brought up the whole Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter argument as well, because off the air we were just talking about it, and we were bringing up how Travis Hunter is not even the best offensive player on that Colorado team.
And I think that a lot of things with Shedeur is, yes, he led the country this year in completion percentage. He was third in the nation in yards passing, and that is at the moment, again, only because he played in 12 games. The people in front of him are Cam Ward, who is going to be in New York, and then you have Kyle McCord of Syracuse. Touchdown passes, Shadir Sanders was second, right behind Cam Ward. He only threw 8 interceptions this season, and yards per game, Shadir Sanders was in the top 3 as well. Now, obviously, we're not giving Kyle McCord the love because, I mean, Syracuse wasn't that good. But
wait, Syracuse was great, but they're not like these other teams. I'll admit that. Syracuse was one of the teams that beat Miami. Let's just all remember this.
I know,
right?
but again,
I know, but they got to learn to play man-to-man defense. Sometimes.
They're in the top 25 right now.
I know they're 9-3. I get it. But again,
I don't think you do get it.
They lost to Boston College. They lost at Pittsburgh, and then they lost to Stanford.
Pittsburgh was undefeated 7-0 at that time.
Doesn't matter.
Stanford, you got me there.
Okay, thank you. Boston College.
Boston College looked pretty good at the beginning of the season.
At the beginning of the season, this game happened in November.
Hey, so did Florida State before they played Georgia Tech.
Anyways,
that was the first game.
Here's what's and that's where I look at this is like, if you look at the quarterbacks they're talking about. I look at the Heisman Trophy ceremony tomorrow, and this is to me just down to do 2 players. Like, is Cam Ward or Dylan Gabriel even really in the conversation?
And that's weird to think about too. When was the last time we were talking about the Heisman race and a quarterback wasn't the front runner?
And there's 2 there.
Yeah.
There are 2 that are going to be sitting there. One is the quarterback for the #1 team in the country, and the other one led the country in almost every single important quarterback stat.
Yeah. Right, and we're talking about them really like they were the last 2 spots on the roster.
Yes.
And I want to throw out a little bit of Dylan Gabriel's stats because he was 73.2 on his completion percentage. On top of that, he had 355 yards, or 3,558 yards this season, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's had a really good year. Here's the thing, though. This entire Oregon team is stacked, and that's the type of team that you love to have because that's the type of team that wins championship games. And when you bring in a guy like Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma, following up an even better season, it seems, obviously he's got more games to play this year, but still, this is the team that you want. So do you really want the Heisman Trophy quarterback if you have a team that has the capabilities of winning a national championship? Why do you think Alabama has been good for so long before 2009? Even before. They didn't have any Heisman Trophy winners. They won so many national championships because their team as a whole was great.
Yep.
That's why I think we throw out Dylan Gabriel and just say, he's a good quarterback. He's also going to be probably the #4 quarterback, #4 guy in this Heisman running.
Last thing I will say about Ashton Genty is one thing that we a lot of times want to judge teams and players on is going to be what they do in the month of November.
Right.
What they do from the month of November, starting November 1st, all the way to the end of the season, counting conference championship weekend. Ashton Genty, in that period of time, just since November 1st, rushed for over 1,000 yards.
Gosh.
Since November 1, he rushed for over 1,000 yards.
It's crazy to see how he is performing because we talk about how most teams, of course, in college football get up to around 400 yards. I would say that's probably a good average for a majority of college football squads on their offensive side of the ball. Ashton Genty has been making up half of that, if not more, in every single game this season.
In the month of November, he had 3 separate times where he rushed for over 200 yards, and he finished the month of November with 10 touchdowns.
I'll say 350 for each offense. That's the average.
I mean, but that's what, like, he had.
It's a lot.
I'm looking at right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had 6 different games where he rushed over 200 yards.
Gosh.
And I don't care if you could say, oh, well, it's good. It's not against good teams. He rushed for almost 200 yards against Oregon.
Yeah.
192 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns against Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if another team in college football did that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Boise State does not have Ashton Genty,
You're
they're not sniffing the playoff.
You're not wrong. And then name me this, all right? Name me 2 other players on that Boise State team.
Dude, I don't even know the quarter.
Preston Stone.
Nope, he's not there.
Dude,
he might be next year, though.
I don't even know the quarterback on Boise State without looking it up.
Maddox Mason, I believe, from USC is their quarterback. And that honestly might be a little bit wrong because I don't know if it's his actual name, but I know it's Maddox.
Again, I still don't even know the quarterback on Boise State without looking it up.
Outside of
it is Maddox Madsen.
Okay, it's Madsen. I knew.
And
it
the
was
only
some
reason
weird
I did
thing.
is because I had to look it up. Like, that's how big of a player that a team is getting a first-round bye.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know the other 10 players on the offense because of him.
Yeah.
That is Heisman winner.
That should be
That's Heisman winner.
Yeah, I mean, he put it perfectly himself. It's like teams are building their defenses all around trying to stop me, but I still go through it.
Yeah. A few other awards that we got to throw out there. The Home Depot Award, aka the Coach of the Year. I don't know. I guess
Home Depot?
Built tough. I guess that's why it's called the Home Depot. That's not like a famous football, but I don't know. Coach of the Year goes to Kurt Cignetti from Indiana. Makes sense.
Yeah.
This team has looked really good this season. You can't deny that.
It makes sense. You bring Indiana to a 1-loss program. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely worthy of getting that Coach of the Year.
I still say it should be Jeff Monken. I mean, I still say that it should be Army's head coach because
you're not wrong. You make an argument right there.
Look, this is 2024, the year and the decade now that's going to be of NILs, transfer portals, players demanding playing time. At Army, you do none of that.
You cannot pay your players at Army.
You can't. They don't get NIL money. They can't transfer. There's none of that with Army.
Yeah.
There is no red shirt. There's none of that. And this man still only lost 1 game on a neutral site to Notre Dame.
Well, speaking of another quarterback that honestly should be in the running for a Heisman, Bryson Daly from Army. I think that is a quarterback that you could definitely make an argument for.
Oh, absolutely. Look, we talked about this.
What is he, tied with Ashton Genty on touchdowns this season?
There was cannot remember what year it was, but there was a couple of it was probably maybe even 5 years ago that there was a quarterback for Navy that we were talking about. He had the potential of at least being in the running for the Heisman, as in there's a real possibility that he could get voted to New York. And there was a discussion being made because at the time, and I'm closing my eyes if you're watching on WZZN TV because I'm trying to remember what it was, but I believe at the time the Army-Navy game was being played that season at Philadelphia. And the Heisman Trophy ceremony was going to be taking place a few hours later after that. And there was a talk of, would he be able to get to the ceremony on time? And there was a conversation about what they would do is they would have a helicopter ready to go from the stadium, and they would get him in the helicopter and fly him to New York City. And literally, I guess the man would land on top of Radio City Music Hall. I don't really know, or whatever, that downtown athletic center or wherever they're at. Like, I don't know if that's the case, but they were going to helicopter him to New York so he could be there if he was going to be one of the finalists. He eventually didn't get voted as a finalist, but the plan was starting to kind of get into place just in case.
Are you talking about
That's what we could have done for Army.
You talking about Keenan Reynolds?
It was Keenan Reynolds.
Okay,
it's
so
exactly who
2012 to 2015. There's also Malcolm Perry from 2016 to 2019. Two good
It
stretches.
was Keenan Reynolds.
Gotcha.
It was Keenan Reynolds. It was, because he was absolutely amazing for Navy during that period of time, and he was putting up numbers that he was actually getting true Heisman consideration, at least for the 4 players being invited to New York.
Well, I will say for Cignetti, of course, having to come in from James Madison having some success last year. Remember them as one of the undefeated teams, then going to Indiana and following up that success. This isn't like a story where Deion Sanders goes, 4-8 in his first season in real football, real college football play. This is a guy that's been able to move over to the Big Ten, and he's able to have an 11-1 season and make it into the playoffs. So I definitely would give it to him as well. But at the same time, you can make an argument for a few other teams, especially Army, who's got some Heisman potential as well as some coaches of the year. On top of that, of course, the Davey O'Brien goes to Cam Ward, best quarterback. We talked about the best center. The linebacker of the year is going to go to Jalen Walker from Georgia. That's the Butkus Award. So now you guys are kind of starting to learn some of these awards, even though you'll probably forget it going into next season. Interior lineman goes to Kevin Banks Jr. from Texas. That's the Outland Trophy. Then you got the Ray Guy Award, best punter.
I do know that one.
I am not going to say his last name, so I'll give that to you, Joe, because you got that pronunciation out.
Oh, hold on. Let me get up here.
Kazaplicki. I think I actually got it. Just spell it out, son.
Just spell it out. Enunciate.
Zaplicki.
I'm actually about to type this in right now. No, I don't want Hoka. Stop giving me a commercial.
Hoka or Hoka?
I don't know. It's some dumb app that's telling me I can get stuff for free.
I thought you were about to say something else. And then William V. Campbell Trophy, of course, the academic Heisman, making it to Alabama for Jalen Milroe, which surprised a few.
The academic Heisman?
Yeah.
It's like, hello.
No, that's exactly what it is.
It's like, congratulations, you are a nerd.
Yeah, I mean, it's the success as a student, as an athlete, as a person who deals with the community service. But here we go. Joe's going to get that best punter of the year name. Go for it. Cheplecki.
Eddie Cheplicki.
Eddie Cheplicki.
Yep, there you go. He is your Ray Guy Award winner.
Good job for him.
See, here's what they need to start doing now as well. When they put these, they need to put how many years of eligibility they have after this, so that we can figure out or not if this man's about to enter the transfer portal and get NIL money based on the fact they just won an award and his price is going up.
Just saying. Got a few guys that would do
I'm,
that.
I'm just looking at it from that standpoint. Like, are these guys entering the transfer portal or not? And do other teams have the opportunity of getting them?
See, it's like, hey, I'm sorry, you're going to have to pony up a little bit more if you want the best punter in the country.
Hey, look, man, I don't know about you, but I'm going to be one heck of a community service person. Like, I've already won this award.
Mm-hmm.
You want somebody good on the offensive line who also serves your community. Boom, Nick Dawkins is your man.
Hey, you need a volunteer for philanthropy? I got you.
What, you need somebody to be able to go into that homeless shelter and be able to give them the dressing? I absolutely can serve them dressing, and for the really adorable ones, I can just a little bit more. That's how I get the Community Service Award.
You need the best LO in the country? You got me. LO means left out, by the way.
Yes.
I'm talking about bench players, some that really support their guys.
Left out.
We take it to break. When we get back, we're closing out this show, closing out this week here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Don't go just yet.
Whoa.
We still got wacky underdog picks.
He literally has his. He's
256.
It's on the red button.
576 4
97.7
is the number to get in. Get those wacky underdog picks because you do not want to get left behind. And me, Joe Hunk, and the Bandyman will as well when we get back here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Crawdad, he texted me. What's Crawdad saying?
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
This is Drew DeArmond of ESPN 97.7 The Zone's Talking Ball, and I'm here with Brandon Pilcher of Pilcher's Appraisals and Home Buying. Brandon, let everybody know what you do.
Drew, I'm a residential appraiser. I can come out and appraise your property and give you a value on it, and I also buy property. So if you have something you're wanting to move on the wholesale market without listing it, I can make you an offer on it and buy it direct.
And then tell them how to get in touch with you.
706-936-3766. Call or text.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, our focus is to always offer you the perfect combination of good times and great food. And when you're ready for a great meal or when it's just time to take a break from all the holiday hustle and bustle, come into Bad Daddy's and enjoy one of our premium award-winning Angus beef burgers, signature cocktail, or a cold draft beer. From all of us at Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, we hope you have a safe and happy holiday season. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and Cliff Farm Highway 72 in Madison.
Sports Talk 24/7 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
Final segment, best segment on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Morning Blitz. Tom Abraham coming up in just a little bit with the Friday trifecta.
Ooh, that's going to be a lot of fun. I personally thought the second segment was the best segment, but to each their own, Joe.
I can't really remember what the second segment was about at this point in time.
We talked coaches. We talked the different SEC rankings.
Yeah, you see how slow this is coming to your head right now?
I'll have to go back to WZZN TV and watch it again. It's similar to how you guys can go back and watch the Crawdad Countdown to Kickoff show. It was an hour-and-a-half special, and Crawdad can't join us, but he did give me his prediction. He says it's going to be a close game, but Army is going to win 17-14. By the way, that game is in the running for Wacky Underdog Picks, and right now Army is a 6.5-point favorite.
There's your picks.
If you want to, yeah.
Just in case you want to pick Navy, they're 6.5-point dog. 256-5764.
97.7.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Josh, welcome in the Morning Blitz.
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm making it. It's Friday. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
It's a Friday. Wonderful.
I just wanted to make a quick comment about the Coach of the Year thing, and I definitely agree with y'all. Indiana's coach, he definitely deserves it. I was going to throw, even though y'all know I'm a big Alabama fan, I was going to throw Josh Heupel in the mix and, God, I can't remember his name, South Carolina's head coach.
Shane Beamer.
Yeah,
He is up for the Eddie
Beamer,
Robinson
Shane
Award.
Beamer. I was going to throw him in there because he did a heck of a job. But after I heard you say that about Army and the NIL, I did not know that, and that is very impressive, and I think that is very deserving.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most unique part about this is the fact that Army players cannot get NIL deals. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah, so that adds to the fact that you still win 11-1. Now, and again, it's the military. They're supposed to be selfless. It's supposed to be the one, not me type mentality. I get that. But still, in college football, and especially this year when everything is in flux, Army goes and only loses one football game on a neutral site in New York to Notre Dame. Like, again, I think they should still have an argument to be in the college football playoff. Jeff Monk has done an amazing job at Army. You deserve it.
Now that you told me that, that was information I did not know, and I 100% agree now. They should have a spot, and they did an amazing job all year, and kudos to them.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Josh. Because again, I just personally I look at it and he's playing with a totally different set of rules than everybody else in college football, and he was able to do what he did.
Exactly.
Y'all
have a good one, fellas.
All righty, Josh. You as well. I was thinking he was going to get on that way.
I was wondering if he was. Yeah, and I think that is. I think to me that's why this is such a unique opportunity for Army, because again they're also in a conference. It's not like they were independent and they were like they used to be and scheduling all these other teams. And I know, again, probably this argument should have been made and we should have been a lot louder about it possibly last week because, the ceremonies are happening this week. But, all these votes were coming in after the college or before the college football conference championship week. But Army, Navy, Air Force, all three of them are playing under different rules.
Yeah.
And Navy 8-3 now going into the Army-Navy game this weekend. Remember, there was a period of time where we thought both of these teams might be undefeated going into this game, and that we were like, well, what the heck is the college football playoff going to be doing? Are they going to be holding off? Like, remember, here's the other crazy part. We're making an argument for Army at 11-1. Why are they 11-1? Because they still haven't played their last game of the regular season. Their 13th data point still hasn't come in.
That means Bryson Daly could get over 30 touchdowns.
See?
Himself.
So this is why should everything have been pushed back a week, and should we have held off all the Heisman voting and all this other stuff a week? No, I mean, I get that it is what it is. But everything that we say about college football right now, Army is number 22 in the country. They've already won their conference championship game, and now they're going to play Navy in Washington, D.C., and they have an opportunity. If they win this one by 15 or 20, not saying it's going to. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game. But if they were to win this by 3 scores, you can't tell me that they shouldn't have an argument now, and you could even look there and go, all right, so hold up. Where at this moment do we have Clemson ranked?
Yeah, exactly.
Like where Clemson's ranked 16th in the country. True question, true idea, true thought. If Army were to destroy Navy, I'm talking 3-4 scores. If you were to redo the college football playoff rankings, could you potentially see Army being ahead of Clemson at 16? Because that's all it is.
The thing.
That's all it comes down to.
They
they have to be in front of Clemson at 16?
Here's the thing. All right, which game would I rather see? Texas versus Clemson or Texas versus Army? And I still think that Texas versus Clemson is going to be a closer game. Don't get me wrong.
No, see,
look.
But see, this is where I kind of have my end of it. Because I feel like just kind of going up matchup wise, if you had to fight between those two teams for the 12th spot, I mean, I'm thinking Army beats Clemson straight up, like on the field.
Texas this season is 5th in the SEC and giving up over 106 rushing yards a game. Now, again, they would basically be focusing on the triple option.
Yep.
Army does pass the football a little bit more. Now, to your argument about Clemson, because we were talking about the passing yards and all this other stuff in there. If you look at Clemson, and their offense, and especially with how their quarterback has played this year, Klubnik is number 11 in college football in yards passing. He's thrown 33 touchdown passes and only 5 interceptions right now. There are not that many players in front of him that have thrown for over 3,000 yards or even 2,500 yards that have thrown fewer interceptions than what he has so far on this year. So I don't disagree with you all right, I think I still would put Clemson over Texas.
Yeah. Over Texas
or no, Clemson over Army.
Yeah.
But again, depending on what Army does this weekend and depending on what happens, there is a real argument that if they beat Navy like they've beaten some of the other teams in college football this year, you could then have a true debate of if you would put Army, if they went back into the room and they flew everybody back into Dallas and they said, let's look at Clemson and Army again. Yeah. Would you put Army in front of Clemson?
I would honestly, I would rather see it Army over Indiana. That's what I would rather see. Maybe even Army over SMU.
But see, Indiana's 8th in the country.
Yeah, it can't be that though.
But guys, real quick, we still got our picks.
We still got our picks. I already got mine. Vandy's got his. Joe, what's yours?
What did y'all pick?
We haven't done it yet.
We haven't done it yet.
We're waiting for you.
Screw it. I'll be a homer. Just give me Titans.
Okay.
I want to go Steelers, but yeah, I just want to go Titans.
Vandy, what did you got?
I'm going homer as well. Give me the Jazz over the Suns tonight.
Wait, you can do basketball? We can do basketball? When did we say basketball?
Not a lot of people have done it.
I need rules here.
Because nobody else does it.
Okay.
I need rules.
It's an 8.5 spread.
Okay, well, we'll question that one later, Bandy. We got the Bears winning against the Vikings. Give me the 7 points.
Or 5-18. Give me something.
Next time you see us, Christmas party at Flow. Make sure you show up on the 16th, 5
Go
o'clock.
Army.
Can't
Beat
wait
Navy.
for it.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and